Death da, Owie Nagan. Welcome to podcast number 136. I've left this a bit late. 'Tis Good Friday today, and I've had a day of paperwork, and I thought, well, I'll do the podcast a bit later. Yeah, I'll carry on, do a bit more paperwork, whatever. And 'tis now, let's have a look, 8:15, and I'm risking it a little bit in case I get a call or anything, but 'tis leaving it a bit late, but there we are. It's been terrible weather today, poured down pretty much nearly all the day. But in fact, I don't know if you can hear that or no, but 'tis hammering down on the roof at the minute. But since last week, last Saturday was a busy day. We had two funerals, funny enough, both in our chapel. We had dear Tony's in the morning. Their family I've known forever kind of thing, really. And we had a lovely crowd there for Tony. And then Ned's in the afternoon. And there was a good gang there for Ned's funeral as well. Really good. So that was me Saturday taken up. And then in the evening, we went to a charity do arranged by our mate Terry and down at Newquay. And Terry is one. I nearly had him on here, about a month or so ago. But then I had to cancel at the last minute. And he's such a busy chap. 'Tis just trying to tie him down when I'm free. But Terry, we will get him on as soon as we can, because you'll love Terry. I could spend all day with him, and he's so funny. Got brilliant, dry sense of humour. So funny. And I know you'd love it if I'm getting on. But he arranged this, the charity do down at Newquay. And we had a brilliant evening. They raised a lot of money for charity. And 'twas one of these bow tie jobs, what they call it, dinner suit, is it? You know, your black suit, bow tie. So, yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely proper. And then, as for Sunday, I can't remember what I did. I honestly can't remember what I did. Must have been a bit of paperwork. Miss Roy went for a walk. Did I go for a run? Or did we go for a bike ride? No, yeah, we went out on the push bikes. That's right. Got quite a good few miles in the legs there. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. We went on a hang of a bike ride, actually. We was out for nearly 3 hours, so that was good. But I haven't cycled at all since, I don't think, so I'm still not getting enough miles in for Scotland. But there we are. There we are. And then Monday we had an early service, 8:30 at Glyn Valley, first thing. And then we was at St. Column, and that was for John's service. And that's St. Column Major, the one we've spoke about it before, like with Phil Tremaine, because you got St. Column Major, St. Column Minor, and St. Column Road, and they're all within a few miles of each other. But we had a lovely service there at St. Column for John. And then Tuesday, we had Chris's funeral. Now, Chris, we grew up together. He was 12 months older than me, school year, which initially when you're young, that's school year. I mean, 'tis a hang of a gap, isn't it? But in reality, it isn't at all. And he lived in the top half of Glen Road, and we was in the bottom half. I remember playing football. He'd come down from the top half, but yeah, very sad, very sad. And we did manage to get everybody in church. It was touch and go. To be honest, I think if the weather was nice, a few would have stayed outside. But 'twas horrible. The weather was terrible, raining. So we did manage to get everyone in. And 'twas quite an emotional service, really. It really was. And his children, they did a fantastic job. Really did, with their tributes. And then coming out of the church, one of his favourite instruments was the bagpipes. And so we had a piper there playing the bagpipes as we come out of Eglosale Church. And that was brilliant. Really was good. And then in the evening, I had a meeting down at the ambulance hall. Now, this is the Weybridge Ambulance Hall. It was built decades ago by members of the Weybridge St. John Ambulance. But they was quite cute, really, because they did it themselves. On the land they got, it was just below what was the egg depot then, where Father worked. Built it themselves, and so they kept it themselves. They started this organisation, what should I say, with trustees and everything, so that if anything ever happened to St John Ambulance, the hall would still be kept to be used by the people in Wadebridge. And of course, when I was growing up, St John Ambulance was thriving. I mean, there was thousands. We used to go to parades, and there would be literally thousands of, people there in St John, adults, male, female, and the cadets as well. And but over the years, it have just dwindled. And Wadebridge St John Ambulance folded quite a few years ago. And unlike other divisions in the county, or duchy, should I say, the hall then was sold by St John Ambulance, and the money then went up country and distributed wherever. But with this hall, by having the trustees and everything, it have stayed in the ownership, shall I say, of Wadebridge. And for quite a few years now, I have actually been a trustee. There's 4 of us trustees, and then you got the committee. And we have our meetings 2-3 times a year. And basically, the hall is rented out, not for profit, so no profit at all. If there are any profits made, it just gets ploughed back in, because there's always repairs. I mean, it is a flat roof, it needs doing in and out, the heat and the light, and you got so much red tape these days, health and safety. So any profit at all just gets ploughed back into the hall, and it's rented out, hired out, I should say, quite often, most evenings of the week and mornings and afternoons. I still think they have got some spare slots. So if anybody in Wadebridge is listening, I know one thing that's become popular lately is children's birthday parties. People have come and hired them for that sort of thing, because it's got its own kitchen there and everything. But like I say, Father was on the committee before me, and then they dragged me in a few years ago to be a trustee. But 'tis brilliant, really, how it's been kept in the ownership of this trust, which means the people of Wadebridge can have use of it. And I think the higher fees, they're not very expensive at all. So it's, I think it's a good asset for the town, really. So we had that meeting on Tuesday, which went well. And 'tis always good to meet up with all the rest of the committee and the trustees down there. And I think the meeting lasts about half hour. And then you're there for another half hour more, just talking afterwards. So yeah, 'twas right on. Amongst our funerals on Wednesday, another early one at Glyn Valley. And then we had Jean's funeral. Jean have lived in Bodmin for many years now, but we've known the family forever. And 'twas a lovely, in the eulogy, 'twas mentioned that my father Ron actually introduced Jean to her husband-to-be. So Richard, so it was, fantastic really that Father was mentioned. And so we had that service there, and then we were there again in the afternoon for Alison's funeral. So all was well. One of the funerals we had on Thursday was David's funeral. Now, David was a very keen cyclist when he was younger. And you may well have seen on our Facebook page or our website that any donations from David's funeral were going for Coasters for All. Now, I thought I'd explain what that is, because a few people said, what's this Coasters for All? And it's kind of run by the local cycling club here in Wadebridge, the Wadebridge Coasters. And I'm sure they still leave from the Betchman Centre. And it's on a Friday. They start, this time of the year. They don't do it through the winter, but right the way through to perhaps September, October. I suppose British summertime, really, when the lights have changed. So that's the sort of time span. And it's for those people that perhaps that used to cycle or want to cycle, but perhaps can't do it all by themselves. So they might get a tandem. So one of the coasters or whoever will be on the front and the other one behind, or you can get these specially adapted push bikes as well. So it's just a fantastic way of people that perhaps aren't able to cycle by themselves, or perhaps they may be able to and they want company, and they'll start and then they'll perhaps go up the camel trail, stop for a coffee and come back again. 'tis a fantastic thing they do. Phil runs it. They're a Weybridge coaster. So that's what the donations were for, because I did have a few people that did ask me. And then we was Nance Stalin in the afternoon, and this is a coincidence again. I know I've said before about what coincidences you have, and I mean, we don't have bagpipes that often, really. Sometimes if we do, we'll have the Cornish bagpipes, perhaps. But we had Flora's funeral at Nance Stalin, and we had the bagpipes again because she was Scottish. She was a Scot. So it was fitting that we had the bagpipes. So twice in a week, we had the bagpipes, which was brilliant. And then, of course, today was a day off, which was booty. So that was that. You may also have seen on our Facebook page, there was a photo. We presented a little while ago some money to Penalligan's Friends, which is a charity down here in Cornwall. And we had the photo this week. But I think what I'll do, next week's going to be a funny week for me. And I think I'll leave that, and I will talk about Penalligan's Friends a bit next week, if that's all right with you. And I think what we'll do now, we will go over to Tegwen Owen. And again, the response has been brilliant. Like I say, so well known in the town. So many pupils, went through Mrs Owen's class. And she'll talk about today when she came to Weybridge, etc. But also about John's involvement, her husband, in the Camels Rugby Club here. He was, early on, he was very much involved with the early years of the Camels, really. And I was talking to my old mate, Terry Gardner, and he said that they have actually got over at the clubhouse a pair of John's old rugby boots. And I mean, they're decades old now, but they've got them there as well, just as a little display thing. So we'll go over to Tegwen now, and then I'll speak to you directly with me Cornish little bits at the end. So, here it is. What's your home village like now then? Do you know? Is it?
I went a couple of years ago, and to me, it was desolate. And for another start, my cousin has just told me that they've taken all the schools from there, the primary schools, and put them all together about 3 miles away from the village. So there now are large empty schools. Mm. So in that village during the day, there's not the sound of a child's voice, which I think is terrible. The mine closed. Work is, I think, quite scarce there. There are steelworks in a place called Ebbw Vale, but again, that's about 12 miles away. Mm.
Was John playing rugby when you met him then?
Oh, God, yes.
You're right, yeah?
I should think nearly every school, secondary stages in Wales, played rugby.
Did they? Right.
Oh, yes. John was a rugby fanatic.
Because I can remember him connected with the Camels down here. Yeah. When he came down to Weybridge and that.
Oh, yeah, he was secretary of the club. He was a physical wreck half the time.
Yeah, I know. His back and everything, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Still, as I used to say to him, was your choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As he hobbled along.
So how long did you teach at the school then?
When I went back, I must have been about 30, 32. It's funny how you forget dates and how old you were, don't it, sometimes?
Because what year were you born?
1926. 1926,
yeah. Yeah. So you're 98?
98.
8 now, yeah. Mm. Well, you're doing good on it.
Still talk, aren't I?
So what was Weybridge like when you came? Obviously.
Oh, a lovely place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a lovely little town. Didn't have a rugby club.
No.
But John and a few others started the rugby club. They played in Mr. Phillips's field.
Is that up by the school?
Up by the school.
Yes.
And I always remember John used to go and ask him, is all right? Can we... Because he said, yeah, well, shoo the cows out, he said, and you'll be all right. And so on the ground were always a lot of cows' mess, and always, but they didn't seem to mind.
No.
But he was very kind to them. But it was a ground quite a bit of slope on her.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
But the club, well, what they called the clubhouse, they went over to St Evil.
Oh, right.
And they bought one of the huts there.
Oh, yeah.
But they had to take it down themselves.
Yeah.
And bring it back and put it up themselves. Because that was the first clubhouse then. It was up on Mr Phillips's field.
Yeah.
It started rugby in Weybridge, good and proper. They had started a little bit before people like John Sampson, was it?
Oh, yes.
Sampson.
Yeah.
A few like him who were Weybridge people had tried to start. Brian Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Phil Fisk. I was trying to think who they were. Pat Johnson. And I remember they had a couple of sort of much, much older people who had retired down here, down out Portsmouth way. And I think they were like ex-executives. Like one was Phil Cooksey, I always remember that.
Oh, right, yeah.
On another one who took quite a good interest was, he was manager of Barclays Bank. Bill Moss, was it?
Yeah, right.
Moss. What's his name? Bill? I remember his name was Moss.
Yeah.
And he had a son, Christopher. I don't know what happened to Christopher. I don't know.
No. That started the ball rolling. And then eventually they moved down opposite Egglesell Church to where they are now.
To where they are now. That was the old dumping ground, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I know they had to be careful when they fell to go and get their scratches seen to, because you didn't know what was underneath.
No. So did you have any hobbies yourself then throughout your life?
The great thing I did like was canoeing.
All right, yeah.
I did like canoeing. John made quite a lot of canoes with the school.
I remember that, yeah.
And he was a good canoeist, but then he had been taught it in the army. And we used the river, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I mean, you canoe right up. It's beautiful going up towards Bodmin.
It is, yeah.
It really is. But it was lovely going down river into Padstow and around. And of course you can imagine when you went down with the boys, they used to go, "Can we go into the harbour?"
Oh, get away.
And of course there'd be Padstow boys on the river bank. Oh. John used to let him get on with it for a while, and after about half an hour he used to go, "Right, that's enough, come on." But I think the people used to enjoy the banter and the...
Yeah.
But that you don't see now, do you?
No. So where did you live when you first came here then?
Gondrina House.
Oh, yeah.
It had been changed into flats.
Yes.
And of course underneath us was a private school. Run by Mr. and Mrs. Watts, up to the age of 11, I think.
Well, how many pupils would they have there then?
Yeah, it must have been about 40. I don't know whether it belonged to Mr. Watts, I don't know, because there's a lovely pipe organ in there.
Crumbs,
Beautiful. When you go to the front, you go up the steps, lovely granite steps. The kitchen's ideal to go and have a look at.
Yeah.
To think that people work down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible down there.
Yeah.
And the stone steps to go down. It's dark, horrible. Worth having a look at.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, really, that they don't have, like, I know people living there now, but giving it as an example of what was. People work, maids in the kitchen working down below, in the little windows and oh, it stank. There's a lovely staircase.
Was there? Yeah.
Lovely staircase.
Yeah.
Going up to rooms. Then you could go through and they'd convert it into flats. Like there were 3 flats, and Mrs. Watts lived in the main part. But a lovely house to go in and see. But
from the outside, it looks impressive, doesn't it? So you can imagine what the inside is.
But it's a good example as well of going down these terrible stone steps, which people would have to run up and down on. Oh, God, they get down there. And into the darkness of the place where obviously people worked and lived.
Yeah. Who else lived in the flats with you then? Can you remember?
Do you remember Miss Spooner?
No, I don't know.
Miss Spooner, she's written books
Right.
on Cornwall. She was a great Cornish authority. I don't know whether part of her family was Cornish. I don't know. She'd been educated in Germany. Everybody knew her, and she lived in one of the flats up there. She lived in a lovely big one at first, but then Mrs Watts wanted it for the school, so she had to come up with us, and she had a little bed sit and so forth.
I see.
How she managed the stairs, I don't know, but she did. But she practically sort of knew Cornwall back and front and side. I think her family was originally from the Red Ruth area.
Yeah, I see.
But her grandfather must have been an engineer or some kind, like everybody is down here, and must have gone up to the Birmingham area.
Right.
And had a factory up there. She spoke fluent German.
Did she? Yeah. Yeah.
I think, now I come to think of it, I think she was the translator for Cornwall during the war. If a German dropped here on a parachute or something, she was the interpreter.
I see. Yeah.
So I don't know what exactly they'd call her.
Yeah. No.
But she was quite a character.
Yeah. So then, after there, did you move here then, or to live?
When Gonvina House was going to be sold,
I see.
Mrs Watts was giving up, and these plots of land became available for local people working in the area.
I see.
These were allotments. I can remember that vividly. And we had a pumping station there. There was no sort of main sewerage. There was main sewerage in the houses, but it all came to the clearing point there.
You're right.
We had that there for years.
Oh.
And the engineer used to come and he used to go, "Now then," he said, "if it smells, bring me up." I said, "Never fear, I will." And of course, eventually it was all cleared and the pipes laid down. But then all people here either had jobs or were Cornish. Our neighbour next door was Carol Wills.
Oh, yes, I remember him.
He did a lot of the drainage things or something like that. He worked for Sid Jewell.
That's right, yeah.
And Carol lived next door. And if you went into Carol's garden, it would be like going into... You'd find anything in there. Anything you say, and he had it.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of people you grumbled about it, and he used to go to me, "Teg, you're the only one who doesn't grumble." I said, "Would it do any good if I did grumble?" But he was a very, very helpful, friendly chap. Do you remember him?
I do. He used to dig graves for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, he was always cheerful. He was lovely. He was lovely as a neighbour.
Yeah.
But he had everything in that garden, but the kitchen sink. If you wanted something and you say, "Oh, God." Well, John often said, "God, I can't find a nail so." "Don't worry, John, we'll find it now." And in there he'd go,
Yeah. Yeah. And then Ken and Val moved in. They were next door from the start, were they?
No. That site was left for the lorry to come down to the pumping station for years.
I see.
Yeah, and until that was cleared, they couldn't sell the site.
No. I see.
No.
And then they moved in then?
Yeah, but it was for years there.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. The Scotsman was the engineer or something there, and he shouted across to me, "Teg," he said, "are you smelling it today?" They cleared it. I mean, they did a marvellous job, and nothing, you couldn't complain about anything.
No.
And then they had this plot for sale then.
Yeah.
But it took quite a few years.
Before we finish, I thought we'd go back, because Tegwen is Welsh, isn't it?
Yes.
It said it derives from Teg, which means lovely.
Yeah.
And Wen, which is blessed.
Blessed.
Yeah. So that was Tegwen.
Yeah.
I mean, was Welsh spoken in your village when you were young then?
Yes, yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Was it the main language or
No,
it second language?
Very second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I take it it's died out as the years have gone on? Or?
I would say so. It's still there in some parts. You'd find it more in Mid Wales.
I see.
And very much in North Wales.
Right.
They're still very Welsh.
Yes.
But South Wales, a lot of people came in there with the mines and things. And in our village, my grandmother spoke it. My mother understood it, but she didn't speak it. You understood some of it, but it was all the older people. And
it wasn't taught in the schools then when you were young?
They just taught you things like, this is a chair, this is a...
Yeah.
But they didn't... but you could take Welsh in the grammar schools.
Right.
Quite a few people did.
Mm.
But you were offered Welsh, French or German. If you had Welsh speakers at home, my grandmother spoke it, but in a very sort of colloquial way. And you knew things like, dyma'r blodau, Year of the Flowers. I still can do bits of Welsh.
Yeah.
The North Walians, I wouldn't understand at all.
No. Because yucky da, is that?
Oh, yeah, happy pipe.
Yeah. Because Dad's cousin Rita, she was Rita Hodge from here. She married a Welshman and moved to Carmarthen.
Oh my God, that's Welsh.
Yeah. So we went to see her.
Yeah.
Well, she's passed away now, but went to see her, yeah. So
yeah, they're very Welsh over there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Wales now has become much more English than it was.
Yeah.
Except for North Wales. Cardiff, very English. You had steelworks down there. Well, who from England wants to go to a steelworks and be spoken to in Welsh all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a commercial language.
Well, I think we've done brilliant. I think we've covered a lot today, haven't we?
Have we? Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
We have.
As John would have said to you if he was here, he'd have said, God, stop her talking for a minute, will you, Dave?
Oh, I can remember him vividly now because he taught us metalwork at school.
Shouldn't think very calm in the metalwork room.
He'd say, for Christ's sake, lad, don't bellow, he would say. Oh, lovely. Well, if you'd like to say goodbye to everyone, all right?
Oh, I will say, bore da I chi. Good afternoon to you all.
It's
too early to say Happy New Year yet.
Oh, it is, yeah. Oh.
Happy New Year's blwyddyn newydd dda.
Oh, yeah. Which is close to the Cornish, which Blethen Noah Da is the Cornish. So it's very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Tegwen. That's brilliant. And we'll stop it there.
It's not very good, is it?
It's brilliant. Lovely. Thank you. Dear her, 'twas fantastic. Really was good. I really enjoyed me afternoon up there with her up at Valley View. She got a fantastic view looking down over Eglisale, the river and everything proper. Now, for my Cornish word of the week, well, 'tis a little phrase really. Seeing 'tis Good Friday today, I thought I would do the Cornish words for Good Friday. So here it is. 'Tis Tegwen Owen, and that's Cornish for Good Friday. Now, for me, Cornish dialect of the week, I was going to Eglisale Road this week, and 'tis getting close now, like spring is here, and I see the cricket club, they're preparing the pitch. They should have had a couple of games there this weekend, but they've both been called off with this terrible weather. That's the only trouble there. I mean, we've had so much rain, you can buy the river as well, and unfortunately they've had to call the games off. And a bit further along is the bowling green. And they've actually got a kind of a scarecrow there. I suppose they put grass seed down or something, I don't know. But they've got this kind of, well, it's a long pole with a pretend big bird flying around on the end of the pole. So tin like a man standing in a field, like that sort of scarecrow. 'Tis one of these poles with a pretend bird on to keep the smaller birds away. And it made me think of a word But this word have got 2 or 3 kind of meanings, really dialect, and that's bucka. Bucka. Now, bucka can mean kind of a scarecrow, so that's what made me think of it. But also, going back, bucka was also a kind of a sea spirit. Now, that was another name, almost like a male mermaid kind of thing, if you know what I mean. And they were thought to be perhaps living in the mines or there on the coast or something. Most of the times, they were thought of as a guardian or something for the locals. Sometimes more like well, I wouldn't say a monster, but you know what I mean. Not such a good thing to have around. But most times they were thought of as guardians. And I'm sure I read somewhere once that down like Mousehole and Newlyn, the locals down there used to leave offerings of fish in the caves or whatever for the bucka to help, what should I say, not help, to thank him for looking after him. So that's me Cornish dialect word of the week, bucka. So there we go. I've got a different version of that, but we'll go into that another time. Right, well, I'm going to leave you now, and I hope you have a good week. I say we've got the bank holiday weekend, and I'll speak to you again next week. So bye for now. Wish you well. Do Guinness. Carnobis Vican.